Section 1, bowing in. Place right hand to the floor, left hand to the floor. Oos. Bring right hand to the thigh, left hand to the thigh. Coming into plank. Rolling vertebrae by vertebrae into downward facing dog. Starting rolling wave, lifting up onto your toes, rolling through vertebrae by vertebrae, through plank, relaxing your hips, rolling chin up last, lowering your chin to your chest, coming back through cobra hood, vertebrae protracted, lifting your sit bones to the ceiling and lowering your heels back to the ground, bending your knees, look between your hands, floating your feet either side of your hands, coming into prayer squat, bring your hands into prayer, chest lifted, placing your fingertips on the floor, bringing your feet in together, fold flat back, exhaling, forward fold, bending your knees, rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae into Tadasana. Bring your hands over your head, exhaling. Forward fold. Swan dive into forward fold. Bringing your hands behind your calves. For a deeper forward fold. Placing your hands to the floor. Stepping or jumping back to plank. Lowering down through chaturanga to prone with your hips lifted, placing one foot on the floor than the other, and then rolling through vertebrae by vertebrae into upward facing dog. Exhaling, lowering the chest, and coming through cobra hood into downward facing dog. Repeat section 1 2 more times, and then coming into section 2. Bringing your feet together, lifting your right leg up to the sky, bending your right knee, chambering your right knee into your chest, placing your right foot between your hands, making your right fist, right hand into a fist, and your left coming up into archer, coming up into revolved archer, and opening out into warrior 2, placing your back heel on the floor, continuing to rotate your arms and continuing to rotate your arms and coming into high drop stance. Bringing your right hand through and rotating your feet, coming into a side angle pose. Bring your left arm up into extended side angle, bring your left hand down either side of your front foot into low lunge, and stepping and lifting your right foot back chambering it in and placing it down. Rolling vinyasa in between, then rolling through vertebrae by vertebrae, lowering down through chaturanga into prone, placing your left foot and your right foot to the floor, going up vertebrae by vertebrae, and then rolling back through, lifting, raising your hips into downward facing, dog, and placing your feet back to the floor for section 2B. Section 2B, chambering in your right leg, placing your right foot between your hands into low lunge, coming up into revolved archer, and reaching out with your right hand forwards into warrior 2, and rotating your arms into high drop stance, and lowering down into low drop stance, and bring your right hand behind you and bring your left arm over your head, lifting and bringing your right hand through to flying warrior, and continuing to rotate your arms and coming into high drop stance, bringing your right hand through and rotating your feet, coming into a side angle pose, to side angle pose, and then your left arm up, reaching up into extended side angle pose, and coming back to the floor to low lunge, chambering your right leg back up to the sky and placing it down before repeating on the other side of section 2C, chambering in the right leg, rolling in vertebrae by vertebrae, placing the hand between the other foot between the hands, coming up into revolved archer, opening out into warrior 2, arms rotating into high drop stance as you change the angle of your feet and bend your left knee, and then coming down into low drop stance, placing the right hand behind you and coming up, raising into warrior's bridge and relaxing, hips down, and bringing your right hand through to flying warrior, and swinging the left leg through to falling warrior. And bringing your right hand through to flying warrior, and swinging the left leg through to falling warrior. Placing one foot down at a time and coming into prone, rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae into upward facing dog, raising your hips into downward facing dog. That's section 2C.